Hey, welcome back to a third round of Artists Among Us. We are so happy to... Wait a second. You are not Kathy Strauss.
No, sadly, Kathy could not be here tonight because she is off being interviewed by some awesome show called Artists Among Us. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's where local documentarians got together to showcase some docs made about a common theme, art.
That sounds an awful lot like our show. We might need to call a lawyer, Jordy. Well, our public awaits. Welcome to Artists Among Us. I'm your host, Jeff Bearhan.
And I'm Jordy Simpson. It's great to be here. The first doc we bring to you was created by a local filmmaker, Kathy Strauss, called Can You Hear Me?
Yes, I can, Jordy.
Oh, what was that?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, it's called Can You Hear Me?
What?
The first baseman.
Who?
Okay. While Jeff contemplates his existence, please watch this next doc by Kathy Strauss.
What I want to see is everyone just take your cell phones out, put them in the flashlight mode, and let's just see a sea of cell phones here in the audience now. So please welcome to the stage, Dylan, Mia, Haley, and Winston!
What you want, pick a side, get your mind right.
It's an 8-week project. We're collaborating on creating original music. We're going to do a big show here. We're going to pack this place out and we're going to rock all our music live.
I didn't know anybody here when I first came here. My name is Karamir Wright. I'm 15 years old and I go to Black Hills High School. I click with everybody. My mom's like, I've never met a stranger before.
I'm Haley Martini, and I'm 16, and I go to River Ridge High School.
I sing literally all the time. I sing all the time. My number one thing is like become a musician. And if that doesn't work out, then I want to be like a zookeeper, but that's besides the point.
I just never What could bring us together? Send us in the right.
Music isn't necessarily where I'm shooting for, but I really like to sing, and I hadn't written a song before I came into Bridge.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, no.
You're going to get all the beats to choose from, and you can choose, one by Nick or Logan or a different one by Jerry, whichever beat speaks to your group.
All right, so that first one, I wasn't getting the sense that anybody was really vibing on it.
It's not that bad.
I feel like I'm in a ballet.
Right, be like,
I just remember being on the stage and like we heard the beat and it was like hard to find the beat that we liked. Yeah. And then I was like, "Got me up all night," and then she was like, "Yeah, I like that." Yeah. We're all just like, "I like that."
got me up all night, I'm thinking, let me alone.
My mom used to make me write in my journal all the time. I used to write about my days, mad, happy, sad, glad, and I just ended up writing music.
Let's all just write independently because Dylan is the first time hearing this. He needs to get his head around it. Yeah. And so you've heard now the concept.
Dude, okay, I need to beat so bad. Okay.
All right. as you're singing, and I'm making this up on the fly, kind of based on what Dylan said, but the girl, what you want, get your mind right.
Make your mind, make your mind.
Left me all alone, lost on the phone, now you're winning.
In my opinion, communication is one of the biggest parts of a relationship.
I got me up all night. It's been a long time since we had a proper conversation. Tell me how we
And since I've never been in a relationship before, I've never really had this, I'm up all night thinking about you, you know.
Wisdom.
Yes.
I honestly love the fact that like you don't know much about like, you know, like you said about like relationships, but then yet you still like dig deep into the song and you like bring stuff out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I think that's really special.
Yeah. I mean,
So you're just gonna double yourself up, okay?
All right.
Sound good?
Yep. Ready.
All right.
Hey girl, what you want? Pick a side, get your mind right. Girl, what you want? Pick a
Like
side.
just more conversational. It doesn't have to be like aggressive because it's not a battle rap. You know what I mean? It's girl rap.
All right.
Got me up all night, I've been thinking.
It's hard harmonizing to someone who's not here.
Lost on the phone.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just go through it again. We're just
Okay.
getting used to it.
Now I tried to open your ears, and now I'm wrapped up in my fears.
My feelings are upside down.
All right. Killing it.
Okay, I probably got one in there. And then just look at me and smile. We got a big show on Friday. Are you telling people about the show? I hope so.
that's meant for you to hear me. I'm so tired of getting in with you.
That was pretty good. My critique is just think about when you're not singing your part of the song, you're still on stage. So be sure you're vibing with it the whole time and you look like you know what you're doing the whole time, you know? Let's do, who wants to go next? Let's do Don't Back Down.
I'm kind of upset because I didn't dress up. But I didn't have anything.
That's why I brought it back up.
So I'm like, you know, I'll actually wear something kind of nice this time.
Okay. I'm kind of following you guys. I don't know. Thank you.
Okay, so I was thinking, like last time, all of you guys hopped on one time.
I'm ready to perform.
Huh? At the end of guys, we're gonna do good.
What's your
High
name? The first.
five. We're gonna do good.
What?
High five. We're gonna do good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Try to, you know, channel any nerves into a good performance and let's rock it. Like we all have worked hard to get this show going. 1, 2, 3. So please welcome to the stage Dylan, Mia, Haley, and Wisdom.
girl, what you want? Pick a side.
Got me up all night, I've been thinking. Left me all alone, lost on the phone, now you're winning.
Is that not an incredible song?
Rolling in my 5.0 with my rack top down so my hair can blow. You remember that one, Jordy?
I've never heard of it. Might have been a little bit before my time.
Of course. Kathy, come on.
Someone needs a time machine. But in the meantime, let's welcome Kathy Strauss and Bridge Executive Director Bobby Williams to the program and music sensation Wisdom. I'm excited to hear from them all.
Great, Doc. That was so cool. Welcome, Bobby. Welcome, Wisdom.
Hello.
It's good to be here.
Well,
hello.
Well, it looks like the Bridge Music Project is a great program. Bobby, as the executive director, how did this program come to be? Tell us about its history.
So I worked as a foster care case manager for several years, and I was working with youth in foster care. So on just a really informal level, I started doing workshops with youth where I was teaching them just, how to put words to a beat. And from there, it just built over the years and expanded into something that became a project for the whole community. And in 2017, we became our own nonprofit organization. So what I found with these youth is they were writing about their experience. So that was the core of the idea there.
That's great. I mean, it's really amazing to see this documentary put together and to see the insides, the inner workings of the Bridge Music Project, and seeing that how you work with those young people and how it's amazing to see young people supported in the arts, especially to have an opportunity, to have an outlet, to have a safe place to be and to explore and put themselves out there. It's really cool to see them on that stage and to see that process and to really see them find their voice. Wisdom, you were one of those people up on that stage. Tell us, what was that like? What did you feel?
That song was somewhat new for me, considering I don't think I've written a song like that where we performed at the Bridge, where it was melodic in that way. I was quite nervous, but it was.
Am I right?
Fun.
Were you the one that came up with that one? What do you call it? Riff or?
I don't exactly remember by now.
Oh, okay. I just saw you come up with it in the documentary. So kept me up all night or something like that, right?
No, that was Mia, I think, who came up with that.
Oh, it was Mia? Okay. Well, all of you working together really accomplished something pretty special. It really shows in that doc, and to see how you developed through that process. What was your first, how did you come to find it and hear about the Bridge Music Project?
Oh, my first year of high school, at the school that I currently go to, which is Avanti, there's this board of a whole bunch of community stuff and in-school stuff, like activities that are happening. And sometimes the teachers read them off, and the Bridge was on that list of things that was going on in the community. And I was interested, so my mom let me join.
Cool. And how's it been so far for you?
It's great. I've been a part of the Bridge many times. I feel like I've gotten better at writing music, as well as found a different type of connection to music. Like, I understand and appreciate others' lyrics a lot more now because I've tried to write my own.
It's really a difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I never thought I'd write music before, so.
But does the collaboration, I saw tons of kids there. I mean, and how does it work? You're put into groups and you work together. Do you choose those groups? Are they chosen for you? Does it depend on what kind of music tastes you all have? Tell me how it works.
Generally, everyone comes together and we have like people split off into pairs and interview each other, and then they share who they interviewed, like the information that they got from them, so that everyone knows each other in a somewhat of a way. And then Bobby generally splits us off into groups of, I'm not exactly sure how many, but it depends on how many people came to that sort of 8-week-long session of the Bridge for that amount of time. And we don't necessarily choose the groups that we're put into, but that doesn't necessarily make it that the groups won't end up working.
Great.
Wisdom, it sounds like an amazing experience. I'm going to go ahead and ask Kathy a question as well. So we're going to hear from our filmmaker, Kathy Strauss. And so what was it about Bridge that drew you to make this project?
So, can you guys hear me okay? I was having some technical issues, I think, but okay.
Yes, we can hear you, Kathy.
All right, great. I'd heard about the Bridge for some kids in town, and I have a couple friends who are teachers who told me about it. And then somebody at the Washington Center for the Performing Arts was like, oh, the Bridge you got to check this out. And I'm just naturally curious, and I wanted to learn more about it. So I just decided to go for it and reached out to Bobby, and he was very welcoming. And I spent the whole 8 weeks going to all of the workshops and learned a ton, and got to know this particular group of talented young people.
So I'm curious, Kathy, I noticed that there were tons of people who attended the concert and tons of people that attended the workshop, this music making workshop. But you focused on a specific few. How did you come to, whittle it down, or were they the most interesting? Did they have the best music? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, it was super nerve-wracking because the first night I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out because I knew I wanted to follow a group. And, the groups are formed right at the beginning. So I kind of was walking around a bunch of different groups, and I just saw some nice kind of synergy between this group, particularly of the young women in the group, and decided, okay, I'm just going to go for it. So it worked out well because I felt like, Wisdom, you and your group were really fun to hang out with, and you made a really beautiful song. So it was it was hard because there were so many talented people there and so much good stuff happening. It would have been great to, do a story about every single person there. Next film.
The next film. Well, I'm glad you're thinking ahead. I'm glad since you're on that topic, what's up? What's next for you? What project are you working on next?
Yeah, I don't, it's kind of in unusual times, isn't it, for filmmakers? And but my background is in journalism, and I'm definitely drawn to a lot of things that are going on around racial justice, police reform, COVID, the economy. So I don't know yet, but I am definitely looking, because this has been a great project to work on, taking a lot of time, and looking for something else to kind of dig myself into a little bit.
Well, we have a couple other guests, Harry and Monvella and GW. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Harry, I'll let you guys go. You guys go.
Welcome.
Is it Monvella and Harry?
Yeah, and Harry.
Hi, how are you tied to the Bridge Music Project?
Through Aisha Harrison. She's one of the artists.
Okay, great. GW?
Yeah, I'm actually Wisdom's dad.
Oh,
okay.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Well, yeah, it's great.
I saw that the last streaming, the last, I guess I want to say film project you guys did the last time you streamed something. It was a series of groups. Did you film that, Kathy?
No, this is the only one that I've worked on. Bobby can probably answer that. There have been a bunch of productions, I think.
Yeah, so the last project that we did was a virtual concert.
Yeah.
And and that was just, we broadcast it all out live and filmed it.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
One that was on the roof?
No, we wanted to be on the roof, but it rained that one day, so.
Oh, that's... it is the Northwest.
I can see that again, right?
Oh yeah, it's on Facebook. Just go to our Facebook page.
Okay, just the Bridge. Type in the Bridge on the Facebook page. It'll come up.
Yeah, the Bridge Music Project.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I'm actually a musician and performing artist myself, and that last thing you guys did was just amazing. I had never seen Wisdom actually, you had her play the ukulele and sing a song she'd written herself. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a rap or something, but it was nothing like that, right? So she did this thing that was totally different than what I was expecting. And in these like really dark times, it was just this sweet, uplifting piece that it made me happy. And I was like, oh my gosh, my kid is super talented. She blew me away.
Totally amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
So thank you so much for, you know, just making the platform available to these kids to do the amazing work they do. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks, GW. It's really great to have a parent perspective. And, I guess Bridge Music Project's a family affair, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the issues we like to bring up in this whole Artists Among Us series is how we're dealing with COVID as artists, because we kind of have to bond together, support each other. But what is the Bridge doing to continue its programming through this pandemic?
Yeah, so it's been a real adjustment. We've really had to pivot with the times. Originally when COVID hit, we were in the middle or towards the end of an 8-week workshop. It was right before we were about to go to the studio, and it was just a full halt on all our programs that we had going. So, initially that was a real hit. But since that time, we've been able to regroup and figure out how we're going to do things. We've been hosting virtual workshops, and last Monday, we actually started our first community virtual workshop. So we're doing the whole project through Zoom. We're going to do social distance recording sessions and a live streamed concert. And so, it's the same core ideas of what we've always been doing, and we're just adjusting to make it as safe as it can possibly be.
When will you
Bobby, that sounds amazing.
When will you be streaming your next production?
So that's going to be in about 8 weeks from now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing these all throughout the community too. We're partnering with Marshall Middle School and Capitol High School, and we're doing projects in Grays Harbor also. So, the virtual side is actually giving us a chance to do more because we're not having to drive so much.
Wow, that's interesting. So those are all the regular projects that you do, and you're continuing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So 8 weeks from now, you're going to have another live show. Does that mean in between now and then we're going to have another workshop of these kids getting together and creating their beats and creating their rhymes?
Yeah. So we just started the workshop Monday, and it's an awesome, very talented group. And so I'm just really stoked about it. It's a lot of new, good energy.
Hey, Bobby, you know what would be really cool? If okay, so you're not going to do something for 8 weeks, but what would be really cool if 2 weeks from now, we could just see you guys, we could tap in and see you kind of in the creative process as things are happening to something like this, like we're doing right now, where you just bring us a little update and we can come in and check it out as it's
See if Wisdom will let you join as a guest and you can sit in on one of the workshops. But yeah, you're totally invited if Wisdom's cool with it, But totally.
Yeah, these kids don't get any privacy from us anymore. I know, we're there when my son's 16 and I gotta leave him alone when he's in class.
Hey, so Bobby, it sounds like there's a lot of interest in this program, and it looks like it's already started. This next program has already started. But how can a kid or parents get involved? How can they get involved in the next workshop or get involved with Bridge? And more importantly, how can people support Bridge?
Well, there's a lot of ways to get involved. We're doing workshops all the time. So if you follow our Facebook, just Bridge Music Project on Facebook, we put pretty consistent updates up there. And we're also always looking for volunteers. We have a lot of projects planned this year. So we need, supportive adults who are interested in mentoring youth in music. And to sign up for that, just go to the volunteer section of bridgemusicproject.org. And so, it's an open ask to the community. We need mentors. And then in general, like ways to support, we're a small nonprofit organization. We're always fundraising. So it's a choice to donate on our website. And, whatever, like the Facebook fundraisers or any way you want to get involved. Like I'm interested in hearing ideas too, because at the core of this, of what we're doing, it's a community building project. Like we are about building our community of youth artists, parents like GW, community members like Kathy that are interested. Like the bridge is all of us coming together to make this project happen.
Nice.
Right on. Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. The Bridge Music Project sounds like a wonderful program, and thank you, Bobby, for finding it, putting it together, and leading it, and getting our kids, something really constructive and helpful in their lives, and building that community, and building that support, and building that safe place. It's so important. We're running out of time. We have another documentary to get to. So thank you very much, Bobby, Wisdom, GW, and Kathy, the filmmaker. Awesome job, great doc, and we look forward to more of your work, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you
to see you all.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I'm gonna
coming,
go to
Wisdom.
that Facebook page, man. I'm gonna donate on the Facebook page.
All right, good idea.
Well, thank you so much for having us, y'all.
Yeah, you take care.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Bobby.
Be safe, everybody.
See ya. And you can find out more about the Bridge Music Project at bridgemusicproject.org, I believe is their website. You can also just Google them. Somebody want to hear another rap?
I guess so.
No, we'll skip that before I start rapping. Let's just head on into the next documentary. The next documentary is called Tell Me Stories by Pat Fifelski. Take it away, Misa. Tell us a story, Pat.
I'm Christy Olson. I'm a full-time working mom. I've recently gotten into dabbling a little bit into watercolor. I've always done paint by numbers and stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
My name is Lene Reed, and I am a single mother, a poet, and an activist, and a mystic.
My name is Aisha, and I'm a sculptor and a mom.
I'm Lucia Harrison. I'm a visual artist.
She's my mom.
Aisha's my daughter.
Aisha was always very artistic. When she was 8 years old, her parents got divorced, so we split up. So every summer and every vacation, we went to some kind of art camp. And she would make money, because for every blue ribbon, you got $5. She would come home from the fair with $50, $75.
My kid's name is Io. We try to make learning really fun and positive at home. For example, when he was young, we would make books about experiences. So one time I got him this little ceramic bowl But of course he wants to see what happens when he throws it, so he threw the kiddie bowl and it broke on the floor. And then we started talking about it breaking, and then we wrote a book about it, and he illustrated the book and I wrote the words, and then we wrote a song and I would sing the song to him.
Or you can maybe put tape on this, it might hold.
Okay.
So,
Probably more tape, more glue. We'll be back in action. This is my son, Mason Olson. You know, we only remember so much from our childhood, and so I like to document as he grows. They just grow so fast. When he turned 5, he was really into his airplanes, so we made an airplane picture on the concrete, and he was so into it.
My grandmother was the choir director of the Baptist church. I grew up sleeping in the pews and her writing songs. After that, I would just do karaoke contests and things. It was really singing, not poetry. And it was through all of my studies in meditation and spirituality that poetry became coming out. It just all was kind of a process of growth and finding myself that way.
So this piece I made in 2011 at the Baltimore Clayworks. This posture in some communities is very, like, this person is like your cousin, you know? This is like my guy. And for other people, this person's very, like, menacing.
The theme that I use is a spiritual item that has a dull edge for cutting spiritual cords. Let's say someone has gone through some kind of abuse on a part of their body. And so you say, okay, I cut all of the former ties to this part of my body and I release this pain from my body.
You asked me why I would want my son to know about this piece, and that's something I want him to understand is, like, just because you have an idea about someone doesn't mean you know what that posture or that feeling is about. I like the idea of being in someone else's shoes or taking their posture and feeling it, you know, feeling what it's like.
This poem is for Pops, who tells me stories, tales from the deep south, about how a raccoon can whip a dog in the water, learn how to fell a tree so it lands just right. He leads me through a field of memories, plowing behind a mule at 8 years old. We go to cane mills, remove the slag off the top as millstone rolls with the clop of a workhorse, juice and sweetness. I hear how to keep my fingers. I listen to the weight of a 65-pound basket of cotton on the back of a child. I hear the clank of pennies counted for shot, to hunt rabbit for supper. Not a deer. He never could bring himself to kill one. I hear the sound of sitting on the porch with a rifle. I hear his heartbeat and a drop of sweat trickle off his brow. I hear a murder of Jim Crows pass over the family home. Sister safe in the house. I think this is why he got good as head of security at a factory with his strong black 6 foot who knows what body. He was too young for that draft, but fought many battles of his own. I have heard where his boys were raised outside of Mount Bayou, Mississippi. See, for a few, a little slice of that tale can be true. Walnut and peach trees, cornbread and collard greens, barbecues and fish fries, ham hocks and poke salad run through their veins just like dominoes and spades. He is the great migration from southern farm to northern factory. I have heard a person passes out when their arm is mangled in a meat grinder up to here. I have heard the pain of living a long life filled to the brim with loved ones. He knows more hurt in dead people than I can name. He speaks to me of them. His cousin at 80 stabbed 13 times by her grandson and how she is still living. Brother-in-law drowned in the Mississippi. Cousins killed in wars. Nephews in and out of prison for no good reason. People who died on his watch at work. Died in his care, in his home. 2 of his older brothers now. He says,
I worked every day. Before work, there was work. And after work, there was work.
So, this poem is for Pops, who tells me stories. Smoking weed on the porch of the house with scenes of raccoons whipping dogs in the water. and trees fell just right.
We usually don't make things together, but I rely on Aisha's advice when I run into trouble on things that I'm making.
Me too. She always gives me ideas, and I'm always like, no, that's not what I want. And then I think about it, and of course it is what I want. So that happens.
Stitching the forest together. We wandered along the soggy forest path. Mother warned, don't touch the mushrooms. Even so, we searched for magic.
So my daughter, Olivia, she is wonderful. She is smart and beautiful. I've always tried to involve her in ways that are positive and safe for her and give her options if she doesn't want to participate.
I would like to think that Mason is benefiting from my art. I really don't have anything particular that I want him to do. Whatever makes him happy. Right now, he's super into airplanes and would love to be an airplane pilot, but he's only 5.5, so things could change.
Both of us have done a lot of teaching so that we can pass along what we've learned and keep that craft alive in future generations.
Being in a relationship with you, watching you go from teaching in the MPA program, directing that program, to moving into art in this pretty profound way, that gave me permission to do the same for myself.
That's what I like about universal practices, is that you can pray to Jesus, David Bowie, God, Tesla, and Adams. You can meditate and have power and have a focus and buy a rock for courage and sit it on your shelf. And so when you look at it, you think about courage. It's not complicated.
There was a thing that just had to move, and if it didn't move, I was not going to be okay. My parenting was not going to be okay. As soon as the decision was made, my actual physical body changed. On a cellular level, like, my toenails grow different now.
This is the work that needs to happen, and I'm the vehicle to help it on its way.
How could we know mushrooms, the fruit of vast, intricate fungal networks, co-evolved with plants to feed and fuel each other? How could we know their magic?
Wow, what an amazing doc, Jordy.
It was so great to see. And I'm so glad that we have our filmmakers here to learn more about this project. So we have Pat as well as these wonderful artists and mothers. So let's hear from them now.
Welcome,
Hey,
Pat.
how you doing? Thank you.
Hey, Lene and Aisha.
Aisha. Hi.
Aisha, nice to have you on the show. So,
Do we have Lucia and Christy here as well?
It was so great to see. I'm so glad that we have our filmmakers here to learn more about this project. So we have Pat as well as these
I'm hearing
mothers. So let's
extra audio. Welcome,
Hey, how
Pat.
you doing?
As of right now, we don't have Lucia. Aisha?
Aisha. Yes. Hi.
Aisha. Someone's audio's playing. Okay, anyway. Well, welcome, guys. Thank you. Pat, wonderful documentary. Can you, I really dug the diversity of art. I mean, there was a lot, the different painting, sculpture, poetry, spoken word, papermaking. Why did you choose to include so many subjects to this doc? I mean, was it difficult to find the common thread between them all, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I wanted to paint a picture of something that was a little bit more universal and holistic, and I felt like focusing on one kind of art or one specific artist would distract from the more universal theme. And so, yeah, thankfully, these were honestly the first 4 artists that we interviewed and that we spoke to, and we really felt like there was a good opportunity here. I think it was Stephanie Johnson that we got most, if not all, of your names from. And you guys are the first 4 people that reached out back to us, and it worked out really well.
Yeah,
Stephanie. Go ahead, Jordy.
I just thought it was a very sweet doc, and the way that Pat kind of combined the generational aspects and the art transitioning between family as well as like that mother-daughter connection, I thought was really wonderful. And so, Pat, I guess my question is for you is how did you get into filmmaking? Was it kind of that family influence that we see in your documentary?
No. I remember my mom scrapbooking. Those are definitely some of my earliest memories with with both my parents are watching movies with them. I will say that. And it was one of my favorite activities for us to do as a family is go into the movie theater, all of us. I mean, there were a lot of us. I have 8 little siblings, so it was kind of a special treat if we all made it to the movie theater together. But yeah, I guess there's that.
Cool. Well, it sounds like the mom and daughter artistic dynamic I thought was really interesting, and to show that was between, I believe, Aisha and Lucia. Is that right, Aisha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there were actually other intergenerational relationships, such as what Jordy explained. But listening to each other collaborate, trying to find each other, how to support each other. We always need that as artists, I guess. Pat, who were your collaborators on this doc in particular, and how did you work together to get this doc finished?
So most intimately, I worked with Brendan Thompson, who produced this thing, and he actually had the idea in the first place. He pitched the idea at one of our documentary group meetings, and I said, let me hop on that. I'll do whatever I can. And he said, well, I don't want to direct. And I said, well, that's what I like to do best. So it worked out pretty well. We had a couple of great sound recordists, including Tessa Faye and Maria Gura and oh God, I feel like an asshole right now. Oh, excuse me. I can't remember this guy's name. I think his name's Austin. It's in the credits. He's a cool dude. I hung out with him a little bit. Really smart guy. But yeah, so we kind of built this thing from the ground up, and it was good to even people that didn't end up working on the project. I approached a couple of cinematographers whose work I really liked on the other projects I'd seen by them, and even their input, was instrumental, I think, in building this thing overall. So.
Funny enough, this is our 3rd installment, and I'm not exactly sure if we ever really talked about the documentary group per se. And as you mentioned, you met all these people at the documentary group back before COVID. Can you tell the audience, Pat, like a little bit about the documentary group meetings and what they're like?
Yeah, they're really great, really collaborative, and a nice space to just come in. And I don't even like documentaries. Like, documentaries are not my medium, but I showed up to these meetings because someone invited me, and I was like, you know what? There's a good creative energy here, and something's happening. Like, literally, I came in, and this whole project was getting rolling off the ground. And I said, this is a great opportunity. I want to be involved. And thankfully, it all panned out pretty well. So, yeah, it's a good space, and it's just a place to come in and talk about what we want to do and to foster the creative work that you guys are seeing here. So.
Great. Well, let's turn our time over to some of the artists since we have 4 of you here. Let's go with Christy. Christy, is this the first time you've ever been in a documentary?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, this is the first time, definitely.
So what was it like having a camera in your face and someone following you around?
Yeah, super crazy.
Did you learn anything from it? Any tips on how to handle fame?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And the Patrick and the crew that he came with were super awesome and made us feel very comfortable. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with it, and it turned out great. And I just want to congratulate them because I loved it. It brought tears to my eyes. It was amazing. Everybody's stories were awesome. It was awesome. You guys did great. And seeing my son do his airplanes and all the things that he loves, it was awesome. So thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Let's go to Lene. Hi, Lene. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks so much for being part of this program, Artists Among Us, and for participating in Pat's documentary. It was really wonderful to hear your words and what would you call it? Spoken word, poetry?
Yes, performance poetry, spoken word poetry, guided meditation. I do a variety of art forms.
I see. I heard one of the terms you listed was mystic. Can you tell me what that is? Because that caught my attention. I was like, what's that?
Yeah, so I organized this little event called Olympia Witches March, and I really identify as a mystic who has studied spirituality and is just connected on a higher level that way.
Does that play into your artwork?
Oh, definitely. I use Reiki in my artwork. That was demonstrated in the scene. I was performing Reiki around someone's head, and just being mindful of the guided meditations that I perform. Resonant Resolve had a harpist that went up the scales as I went up the chakras with the meditation to higher levels of meditation. So it's just a really good fusion performance for healing.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And so next, let's also hear from our other artists as well. Lucia, do you mind sharing how the pandemic has affected your artwork as well?
Aisha or Lucia?
Lucia.
Oh, Lucia. Okay.
Lucia.
Yeah, I'm involved in a group in Tacoma called the Puget Sound Book Artists, and there's about 180 of us making books. And so we've done a number of collaborative projects. One was called the Staying at Home Project, where we each made a book, and then we made one page and sent it to another person. They added a page. The pandemic, I'm fortunate that I'm retired, and the pandemic has, been really a tragic thing. And but for me, I've been able to be home and spend time on my artwork. So I haven't suffered as much as many other people have.
I have a question. You and your daughter share this artistry, and obviously you lean to each other for support, but has there ever been a time when you had to, get out your critical thinking, your critic's hat, and kind of say, or break it to them, and I don't know what words you use, that maybe they could go another way? How do you get that across to your daughter?
I don't.
I have children.
That's right.
I have children and I need help.
I've come to realize that her artwork is her own, and if she wants my help, then she can ask for it, and I'm happy to. In other times, I've been a mother who sort of tried to take over a project or make strong suggestions. That doesn't work out too well. So I think Aisha has really great instincts, and I just support her 100%. And every time I've been involved in one of her projects, it's just been a thrill for me. We just finished one last week that's going to be at South Puget Sound Community College, opening soon. She just finished this wonderful mandala piece. And so I was able to help her with some of the framing. But anyway, so I don't really have much to suggest to her. She's in charge. Right, Aisha?
Aisha, you're the one that did the sculpture of the guy, the uncle, right? Or
Yeah.
everybody's uncle. That's so true. I looked at that guy and I was like, oh my God, I know that guy, Guess we all have one, right?
Not all of us, but some of us.
Well, it was moving. It was moving
Yeah,
for me to see.
good.
Yeah, But tell us about your work and tell us about what your next project is and what your goals are.
Oh man. Well, like I said, or like I said, right? Because we're the same person. Like my mother said, I'm just putting up a piece at South Sound Community College, and so that piece is about it's about Black women and trans folks and femmes and girls, and it kind of has a name in the center, and then mandala. I don't know if it's a mandala, but it's a drawing around the edge, and I've made 108 so far, and so that project has been very consuming. I'm also working on getting my first large scale bronze piece done, so that's in the works. She's at the foundry and they have started making the mold. So it's just a matter of time, and she should be downtown next year, which is pretty exciting. If you want to fund the project, there's a place where you can do that. You can go to my website. Anyway.
What is your website?
Well, if you go to the GoFundMe site and you look up help me turn clay into bronze, you'll see my work, and it has a description of the piece, and yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I have a little ways to go, but I've raised over $12,000 so far. So.
Oh wow! Hey, that's not bad.
Nope, no small thing.
So you just Google GoFundMe turning clay into bronze?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You heard it here, people.
And then my website is aishaharrison.com. So.
Awesome.
Aisha, that project sounds amazing, and I'm super excited for you to complete that soon. But currently, what has been your inspiration right now creatively?
I mean, I feel like I'm always working around identity issues. Right now, I feel very, there's just a lot going on in the world. And I feel like I, for one, and I know lots of other folks need some support right now. So a lot of the work that I've been working on is about celebrating us, or about ancestors holding us in this time, giving us wisdom and strength, but also trying to help them as well, ease or moving some of the things that have happened in the past for our ancestors also. So it's kind of I want to say a three-way street, because it also includes our descendants, which ties really well into this documentary.
So great. Oppression, Patrick.
Oppression?
Was that your goal all along, is to introduce this intergenerational, past, present, future, and tying it all together in this nice little art doc?
I think oppression plays a big role in this. I do, and that's why I was a little unafraid to feature some of that. There was even in an earlier cut, we focused more on that element of Aisha's artwork. To me, the starting point of this whole movie was trying to look at the value of art through the perspective of a child, which is why a lot of this documentary is shot from a child's perspective. It's shot either very close or it's shot from very low angles, where a kid is at. And just kind of emulating the feeling of a memory, of an early memory, where you kind of only remember fragments and very distinct pieces of a scene. And to me, in the same way that we can kind of determine the value of a painting by how much someone's willing to pay for it, or we can determine the value of a film by how many people are willing to go and pay for the adrenaline rush. I just wanted to look at how art impacts kids and what value that has to them. And I think we see that not only through, we get to kind of speculate about, Chrissy's child, Mason, and how that's going to affect the future of his life, as we see it's affected Aisha, who's his daughter. And then we get to see it from the perspective of, all of these people as great mothers and artists alike. So that's kind of the whole thing, I guess.
Well, that's great insight. We do have viewers on Facebook, and one of them asked a question about, to Aisha, will the show be in person at SPSCC?
That's a great question. So they are going to do it by appointment. So if you email Sean at the gallery at SPSCC, you can make an appointment to go see it. But there's also going to be a lot of talks and other events happening throughout the next few months. So, and I'll actually be in a talk with, I'm part of a collective, and Shamika and Kole. Yeah. Anyway, we have a piece in the show, and we're going to be doing a talk on October 29th. So that's another way to see the show, kind of. I think they're going to have they're going to film the show so that everyone can see it, even if you can't get to the gallery. But there is a way to see the show if you just request an appointment. And the other thing they're doing is they're putting all the work online so each person will have a bio, and then information about their work, and then links to various other things. They want to use it as an educational thing. So I think that's going to be going up fairly soon. The show opens on October 5th and goes through December 11th.
Well, it looks like we've come to the end of our show, and I
Real
want to
quick,
thank
I'm sorry.
all of you.
It looks like we got Aisha's GoFundMe in the comments, which is awesome. Anyone else have links or websites? I know Lene, at least. Anybody? No. Okay, my mistake.
No. Well, we will definitely try to promote those later if you can get those buttons to us soon. Thank you so much, all of you, for participating in the documentary process with Pat. Pat, thank you for putting this together and showing us and inviting us into these creative worlds of these wonderful artists among us. Thank you for participating tonight. This is the end of our show, and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for screening it.